Yo, what is going on, everybody? You have Tone here, and I am here bringing you guys my team builder and battle for the IBL Season 5, week number 10. This week, we are taking on the New York Cosmogs, coached by Phantombass. Now, if you're wondering about what happened for week number 9, if you guys noticed, there was no upload. And the reason for that being is the fact that the game that I was supposed to play for week 9 actually never happened. So what ended up happening week 9 was I actually ended up getting a forfeit win over the San Jose Panquakes. I had a team gen, I was ready to go, and unfortunately some things came up on my opponent, and we had an extension, but he couldn't meet the time and whatnot because some other stuff came up. So in the end, we were just awarded a forfeit win. So not exactly how I wanted to take a win, but there are things that I can't control, that's beyond my control. So with that being said, we're heading into this week 10 matchup with a record of 4-5, and we are taking on Phantombass of the New York Cosmogs, who is coming in with a record of 6-3, if I recall correctly. And his team overall is very, very threatening. As you see, his team consists of the Kartana with Z-Moves, Hydreigon, Toxapex, Necrozma, Mega Aerodactyl, Aromatisse, Vikavolt, Piloswine, Klinklang with Z-Moves, Monferno, and the Swoobat. So right away, there are a lot of threats to my team, considering what he could potentially bring. Kartana is very much a threat, regardless of the fact that I do have something like Bronzong that resists both grass and steel types. As you see by my team, I don't even have Bronzong on this build, and it was kind of a toss-up on the last slot here, and I'll get to that when I get there. But what I really wanted to do with my build was try to build a team in which I could support my Volcarona, as you see here on your screen, as best as I can, while pretty much having everything on my team to ensure that something like Toxapex or anything that can hinder a Volcarona sweep in the late game is eliminated right off the bat. So without further ado, I'm just going to jump right into the team mode here, not going to waste too much time with this matchup here. I'll go into my thought process and building process as we go along. So this was the first thing I slapped on my team, being my Volcarona with Buginium Z, Quiverdance, Roost, Bugbuzz, and Flamethrower with max HP, 20 special attack, and 244 speed with Timid Nature. This pretty much lets me outspeed non-Scarf Hydreigon and everything slower than that. So the idea is to try to get up to at least +2 and blow back the rest of his team, because the only real things he has that can stop Volcarona: defensively, he has Toxapex; offensively, he has Mega Aerodactyl and some other stuff that he could potentially bring, like a Spadef, Piloswine with Stone Edge. Some other things to consider, even Monferno can be a little bit of a problem here, because Monferno can it resists both bug and fire. It can be run Spadef with like Slag Off, but at the same time, I don't really see Monferno doing anything outside of trying to wall Volcarona here. But outside of that, the idea with my build was to, like I said, make sure Volcarona has the easiest time as possible to try to sweep in the late game with Quiverdance, and then Buginium Z just to break past stuff like bulky Necrozma, get past Hydreigon, do more damage to something like Mega Aerodactyl. I could have ran Z Flamethrower, but at the same time, Buginium was more prominent because mainly for the Necrozma, which can be like a bulky, I don't know, like bulky Assault Vest, I don't know. But I know for a fact that Necrozma is going to come. It's definitely going to have Power Gems to blow back my Volcarona, because I'm pretty sure if EV correctly, it can take even a +1. I think you take a +1 Savage Spin out from my Volcarona. As you see, it's not even that it's not even that much invested in special attacks. So I'm pretty sure it can live it no problem. So the idea is to try to chip down the Necrozma as best as I possibly can with the rest of my team. And the rest of my team, like I said, built to make sure something like Toxapex or Vol Mega Aerodactyl does not get the better of my Volcarona. So the first thing I threw onto this team was my Thunderous Therian with Expert Belt, Voltazor obviously, Defog, Toxic, Thunderbolt, and Focus Blast. just a very straightforward offensive set here. Max special attack, enough speed for non-Scarf Hydreigon, rest into HP. This is nice for bluffing like a potential Choice Scarf on my Thunderous. Thunderbolt and Focus Blast is pretty much all I need. I don't really do much damage to Vikavolt, but even if he decides to bring in, I have Toxic on here to wear down things like the Vikavolt. I could wear down Piloswine. Pretty much all of the bulky Pokemon, the Necrozma comes to mind. And then lastly, we have Defog on here, mainly because I'm running Volcarona, and Volcarona without hazard removal is a big no-no. So that's pretty much the thought process behind Defog on that. Nothing much else to say about that. My Thunderous, just like I said, it's designed to come in, scare out the Toxapex, do a lot of damage to that thing. Scare out the Mega Aerodactyl. Well, not really scare out Mega Aerodactyl, but it prevents Mega Aerodactyl from switching in directly on my Thunderous. So that's pretty much the idea behind that. Then next up, we have our Seismitoad here with Stealth Rock, Scald, Earthbound knockoff with leftovers, with max HP, 52 defense, and 204 special defense with a calm nature. And the idea behind my Seismitoad, this is my main switch-in to Mega Aerodactyl, even though you don't see that much defense investment on my Seismitoad. It is EV to take 2 Adamant Aerial Aces from Mega Aerodactyl, from an Adamant Mega Aerodactyl after Stealth Rock, and the rest I just threw in a special defense here. I can take, my special defense also allows me to take 2 Choice Specs Dark Pulses from a Hydreigon after Stealth Rock, which is pretty nice. And then I don't really have a way of hitting the Hydreigon super effectively, but at the very least I can knock off its potential item, potentially like a Choice Scarf, Choice Specs, Life Orb, whatever the case may be, and blow that thing down with Skull, get some chip damage that way. But like I said, Seismitoad's main job is to try to get up rocks and check the Mega Aerodactyl when needed. And then next up here, a set I've probably been bringing a lot more often as the season has been winding down, and that is Clefable. You don't see Clefable here, but anyway, Clefable with Life Orb, Magic Guard, Calm Mind, Soft Boiled, Moonblast, and Thunderbolt with max HP, max special attack, and the rest I throw into speed to avoid any speed creeping from someone like Vikavolt or Piloswine, prevents that from happening. After a Calm Mind, Life Orb, Thunderbolt destroys Toxapex, and I don't expect the Toxapex to be fully specially defense invested because of the fact that he does need some defense investment to avoid getting knocked out by Zen Headbutt from my Mega Gallade, which I'll get into. But the idea with Clefable is to just try to come in and attempt to nuke something. Like, his Moonblast switch, like I said, is mainly going to be that Toxapex or any of his steel types, but Kartana is never switching in on a special attacker ever. And if he brings Klinklang over Kartana, it's kind of a rinse-repeat process. At least Klinklang is a lot more manageable because of the fact that it doesn't have any way of hitting Seismitoad super effectively unless he brings like Hidden Power Grass. But other than that, though, his switch-ins to a Life Orb Moonblast is Toxapex, and Toxapex does not want to take a Life Orb Thunderbolt, as I think even unboosted, like Life Orb Thunderbolt will 2-shot a Toxapex from full, and even if he tries to like haze me down, I can just Calm Mind Thunderbolt into another Thunderbolt will always knock out Toxapex, even if it's fully specially defense invested. And Calm Mind's also there to prevent me from losing a potential Calm Mind war with Necrozma, but as you see, I'm not unaware, so I can't really prevent him from setting up if it comes to that situation. Same thing also applies to like a Calm Mind Aromatisse if he decides to bring that as well. So nothing much else to say about Clefable here. It's a very straightforward mon, more or less. Then next up we have our Mega Gallade here, Bulk Up, Drain Punch, Zen Headbutt, and X Scissor with 108 HP, 148 attack, max speed with a Jolly Nature. This pretty much lets me guarantee outspeed non-Choice Scarf Kartana. And the bulk doesn't really mean much, but it's mainly there to ensure that after a bulk up, I can always one-hit KO a Mega Aerodactyl with the predicted HP investment. I'm predicting on Mega Aerodactyl, like, first and foremost, because of the speed tiers, like, Mega Aerodactyl has no reason not to run Adamant against me. As my fastest Pokemon is Cinccino, he can easily run Adamant enough speed for a non-Scarf Cinccino, and with the added HP investment I'm predicting him to bring on Mega Aerodactyl, the 148 attack investment ensures that after a bulk up, Zen Headbutt will always knock out Mega Aerodactyl with the HP investment I'm predicting, which I think is 148 HP. And with the after a bulk up, an adamant max attack aerial ace from Mega Aerodactyl will never knock out Mega Gallade. Even after Stealth Rock, it won't knock it out. This thing is just amazingly, ridiculously good. And in the last move, I have X-Scissor here because Necrozma is a threat. there's no two ways about it. I don't have any other way of hitting the Necrozma outside of running knockoff, but I feel X-Scissor is just a little bit is a bit stronger. Also lets me avoid mind games against something like Hydreigon if he decides to come in, predict and Headbutt or something along those lines, and it also lets me hit Swoobat. I don't want to disregard something like Swoobat, because that if he does bring that, I'm not prepared for it. I'm going to get destroyed. So that is my Mega Gallade. And lastly, like I said, this was a toss-up between Bronzong and Drapion here. I decided to bring Drapion just so he just so Necrozma can't just spam Photon Geyser against my team with no drawbacks. So as you see, this is a choice banded Drapion with knockoff Poison Jab, Earthquake, and Aqua Tail, with 20 HP max attack and the rest in speed with an adamant nature. This lets me outrun a max speed Necrozma, Timid. Yeah, this lets me run Timid Necrozma, and everything's slower than that. I think it's either that or I'm like outspeeding Monferno or something like that. Well, my thought process is I could have outsped something like Klinklang, but I don't really expect him to bring both steel types. If he were to bring one over the other, it would definitely be the Kartana, because like I said, Klinklang doesn't do much to Seismitoad. Even if he brings like Shift Gear Z Giga Impact, they won't knock out Seismitoad from full. Kartana is a much better option against my team just because it hits a lot harder, and the rest of my team can be whittled down by some of the mons on his squad, so it's a little bit more a tight net thing. And I really wanted to bring Bronzong just to have a backup check to the Kartana, but I'm pretty much relying on my Volcarona to come in and check that thing and hopefully get a Flame Body burn. But yeah, that's pretty much going to be the team overall for week number 10 in the IBL. So without further ado, let's just shift right over to the battle and see how we fare. Alright, so here we are with the battle against Phantombass, and the first thing I am noticing is the fact that he did not bring the Toxapex. So, with good reasoning, I do have a bunch of stuff that can threaten the Toxapex. He did decide to bring the Vikavolt, which is kind of annoying for my Thundurus, but not too much in that regard. So, everything else I more or less predicted him to bring. It was mainly that last spot. He could have brought Vikavolt, he could have brought, the Toxapex, like I said, even the Aromatisse was a potential bring as well, just so we have another check to the Mega Gallade, but Vikavolt does make some sense in the fact that it can run Energy Ball for my Seismitoad and stuff like that. So, just looking at it from a lead matchup here, I figured the best lead, in my opinion, was my Drapion. Drapion in and of itself didn't really have that much use considering the mons he brought, but at the very least I can try to get off a knockoff on something, because nothing really wants to appreciate taking a knockoff from Drapion. Even the Mega Aerodactyl, even though it's holding a Megastone, if he's not running Rooster or anything, I also get to get some damage off and make things a little bit easier for my Volcarona. And any damage, or getting rid of Mega Aerodactyl and the getting rid of Mega Aerodactyl and weakening the Piloswine is definitely going to be crucial if I want to try to win this game with my Volcarona in the late game. So, with all that being said and done, I'm just going to start the video here and see how we fare in our matchups here. So, I'm not going to lie, this was a very tight-knit game. It really came down to a lot of things in the end, as you're going to see. So, like I said, I'm going to lead off with my Drapion. He's going to lead off with Ralph, his Vikavolt. I figured, okay, that's kind of not a bad matchup here. I don't necessarily need HP investment on my Drapion. So what I'm just going to do, I'm going to fire off a knockoff here. And as you're going to see, is life forward. He's going to go straight for an agility. So right away, he's going to put the offensive pressure on my team from the get-go. And I kind of expected that considering the builds that I usually do with more bulkier and stuff like that. So he's going to go for a T-Bolt here. Not going to knock out my Drapion. I'm going to knock out his Vikavolt with the next knockoff. So that's, we're already up 5-6, but I do lose, my Drapion has been taking exceptional damage here. He gets a free switch into his Mega Aerodactyl here. I'm going to switch out. I'm going to go directly out into my Seismitoad here as my dedicated Aerodactyl switching. So he's going to Mega Evolve here, and I believe he is just going to go straight for a Aerial Ace. If I recall correctly, it's been a while since I last played this game. So yeah, he's going to go straight for the Aerial Ace here, just get some damage off here. He's going to unfortunately crit me, which kind of sucks, but at the same time, it's no big deal. I believe I'm just going to go for a knock. I think I'll go for a knockoff this turn. I'll go for a Scald as he sends out his Hydreigon here. And I believe, yeah, I go straight for the Scald here. I didn't want to waste any time here. I wanted to get some damage off on the Mega Aerodactyl. I'm going to snag a burn on the incoming Hydreigon here. And I believe what I'm going to do at this point, I think I'm going to make I'm either going to stay in or I'm going to try to sack off my Drapion here. But he makes a double into the Necrozma here. Yeah, I'm going to double out into my Drapion here. I wasn't trying to predict the Necrozma coming in. I guess he was expecting me to go for knockoff, but he's going to double here. He's going to go back out into his Mega Aerodactyl. I wanted to click Aqua Tail so badly on this play, but I'm just going to go for the safe Poison Jab here. I didn't click knockoff here because the way he's playing this the way he's just went aggressively into Necrozma, and the fact that he has a Piloswine, this leads me to believe this is an offensive Necrozma here. And if he's weakness policy, I don't want to knock that thing off. So here he's going to make a double out into his Kartana as I go for another Poison Jab. So now I'm going to go out into my my Volcarona here. As much as I didn't want to go hard Volcarona, I probably should have just sacked off my Drapion here. He's going to go for a knockoff here. And as you're going to see, that damage shows me that this is 100% choice banded. So now I'm going to double back out into my Drapion here as he's going to go for another knockoff. I'm just going to sack off my Drapion, which I probably should have did initially, but it is what it is. As you're going to see later on, it's going to kind of come back to bite me a little bit, but in comes my Mega Gallade here as he's going to withdraw, and I'm going to Mega Evolve here, and I'm going to go straight for the Drain Punch. As in comes the Hydreigon here, I'm believing he was just going to sack, he's just trying to sack this thing off. So I'm going to Mega Evolve here, I'm just going to click Drain Punch, I'm not trying to, alright, I go a little bit too fast here. So I bulk up here because I know he's locked into knockoff, and there's no way a banded knockoff is going to knock me out from full. So now I'm going to go for Drain Punch here. And we're going to knock out the Hydreigon here. So now he's not Scarf, but he reveals Rocky Helmet. And I'm like, okay, so that's what the idea with this Hydreigon was. It was designed to take on my Cinccino. In comes the Necrozma here, and I'm going to go for X-Scissor, which, as you're going to see, was a mistake. He was weakness policy, and now he's going to go for the Autotomize and just try to... He's going to blow back my team because my Clefable is not unaware, so... I'm pretty much screwed at this point, because now he's going to fire off a +2 Photon Geyser, and my Mega Gallade is going to get blown to oblivion, or so you thought, as a Gallade's just too bulky. We essentially avoid getting 6-0'd, well, more or less 5-0'd by Necrozma here, thanks to my Mega Gallade, living on 32 HP here, but now my Gallade is taking some significant damage here, and now I'm going to make the play out into my Thundurus. He is going to go straight for the Aerial Ace here, and I am going to, I believe, go for a Focus Blast. This turn, yeah, go for Focus Blast, because, like, I literally had nothing to lose here. I think he decides to go out into his Piloswine, and I'm going to actually connect Focus Blast here, which is incredible. And that's a clean 2-hit KO on this thing. And he's going to go for the Ice Shard, get some damage off of my Thundurus. And I'm just going to go for another Focus Blast, and I connect another Focus Blast. So, 2 for 2 in terms of Focus Blasts here, and we're going to drop the Piloswine, so we don't have to worry about Stealth Rock this turn. In comes the Mega Aerodactyl, though, and while I kind of wanted to save my Thundurus, I decided to just let it go down. There was no reason to predict, anything weird or anything wild in terms of what Mega Aerodactyl could do. So I just stayed in, sacked it off. So I get a free switch into my Seismitoad here, and I'm just going to click Scald as he reveals the roost. So I figured, I see Aerial Ace and Roost. I don't know what his last two moves are. I'm assuming he has like Crunch or some way of hitting my Bronzong. So I think he's trying to stall out. Well, not really trying to stall out, but I think he's trying to get up to a good amount of HP so he can still check my Gallade. But as you're going to see, this is actually a losing battle here because the combination of Scald and Poison damage is going to put him in a position where he's actually losing HP instead of gaining it back. And here I kind of make a misplay, which I'll talk about here, because now you're going to see he's going to go for Aerial. He's finally going to attack me because he realizes this is a losing battle. So I'm going to click Scald here. What I actually should have did this turn was click Stealth Rock, because now the Mega Aerodactyl is going to drop here. There's one big problem on the field, and that's the fact that there's still a full HP Kartana. And basically what it's going to come down to now is I have to sack off my Volcarona here. Because the only way he can win this game, he has to lock himself in the Leaf Blade and not get Flame Body Burned. So that's what I'm pretty much banking on here. So he goes for a Leaf Blade, doesn't get the Flame Body Burn, so I have essentially one more chance to get the Flame Body Burn, and I'm not going to get it. So this is not good. So basically my last chance now to actually avoid losing this game is to get a high roll with Drain Punch. And as you're going to see, we're going to do a crap ton of damage, but not enough to knock out the Kartana. And that's essentially going to be the game, sadly, because he's going to Leaf Blade through my Gallade, take it out, and nothing else on my team is faster than Kartana. So my Clefable is going to come in, get dropped by a +2 Choice Banded Leaf Blade, and my Seismitoad is going to unfortunately meet the same fate. So yeah, this is where me not going for Stealth Rock on the turn that Mega Aerodactyl was going to go down, it's going to come back to bite me. Although, in hindsight, it could have been a little bit different, like I said, but because it turns out afterwards, we were talking about after the game was over, that the Mega Aerodactyl did actually have Defog on the on its set, so it was more or less trying to find an opportunity to get up Stealth Rock. I probably should have did it the turn that he went for Aerial Ace, as the Poison was going to kill him. Like, I had no reason not to try to get up my rocks, because like as you saw, the extra Stealth Rock damage that that Kartana could have potentially have taken, my Gallade could have potentially knocked him out after rocks, and I would have won the game 3-0. Instead, I could have knocked out the Kartana from full HP with my Gallade, and Kartana is going to essentially reverse sweep me. So we go from potentially winning 3-0 to losing 1-0, and essentially it's not really a heartbreak, because I did try my best to win this game. My plan with trying to win with my Volcarona didn't work out as well. Didn't work out in the end. I didn't even try to Quiver Dance. There was never really an opportunity to go for Quiver Dance in this game because of the offensive pressure that Phantombass decided to bring in this matchup. But like I said, it does make sense considering my bulky offensive playstyle. But other than that, though, I'm pretty satisfied with the way the team performed. Like I said, the only real downside to me not getting off any chip damage off on the Kartana, and the other thing is me letting my Volcarona take damage in the first place. Like, me going hard Volcarona the first time instead of sacking off my Drapion, that essentially cost me as well, because I would have come in with my Volcarona afterwards, and then take a flame, eat a knockoff, and then just go for Flamethrower. I would have won that way. But the fact that I let my Volcarona take chip damage in the first place essentially ended up costing me the game here in week number 10. So yeah, we're going to drop to 4 and 6. And we're essentially like hanging on by a thread in terms of a playoff. Any chance of the playoffs are like pretty much hinging on our week 11 matchup against GoldoaDragon and his New York Empoleons. But anyway, this was a very solid match. Good game to Phantombass. Be sure to check him out. His links and stuff will be in the description down below, as well as all the other coaches in the IBL. So hope you guys did enjoy. Like I said, thank you guys so much for watching, and until the next time, this is Tone signing out for now. Peace out.